Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So, it looks like there's a chance that the Jacksonville Jaguars owner is going to be purchasing Wembley Stadium. Okay, so he's put a £900 million offer in for Wembley Stadium. So the FA, the Football Association here in the UK, are going to go away and think about this. But for me and all the NFL fans in the UK, gets you wondering, what does this mean for a potential future franchise in London? Okay, so in this video, I'm going to put together some of the information we already know, some of the speculation, and see if that adds up to a team coming across from America. Okay, if you enjoy this video and you like it, subscribe to my channel, share it with a friend. Do a lovely little post about it and help share the word. Okay. So as I said at the beginning of this video, the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, who also owns Fulham Football Club in the UK, he's put an offer in for Wembley Stadium, £900 million. Just a casual day for that guy, just popping out £1 billion offer basically for a football stadium. And obviously that means a lot for the potential of an NFL team coming to the UK. Since 2013, the Jacksonville Jaguars have signed a contract to say that they commit to a game a season in London, basically, which obviously shows the link that Jacksonville want to be pushing out into the UK. In 2016, they signed an extension for that to continue to 2020. They've played 5 games so far, and they're 3-2, so they have a winning record at home at the moment. The first 2 games were losses as well. Obviously, they are improving as a team in general, as a franchise. They had their best season for a decade last year. But also, they are sort of sussing out how to play in London. I was watching a video about Tottenham Hotspur, who also now have a contract with the NFL through till 2025 to host 2 games a season in their new stadium that they're building. Anyway, I was watching a video, it was on Twitter, about a 3-minute video, about how they're building their stadium. And in that, there's basically their main football pitch, which is for soccer, English football. I don't know why I need to say soccer, but English football. They can retract that pitch back, and then basically an NFL field is underneath it. And the NFL field then has perfect sight lines through the stadium, and they're planning all their stadium around this underground NFL pitch, which will be like a 4G surface. So obviously it's not grass because it would be in the dark all the time. But basically they're having a permanent NFL field under their football field.
The architects for this fantastic new stadium for Spurs. Through the States, we've done 14 NFL stadiums. We design and run the Super Bowl every year. I think the really special thing about this stadium is we have 2 dedicated pitches. So this is the first time in the world this has ever been done. The sliding pitch allows us to have an EPL perfect grass pitch, sightlines work, surroundings, everything's perfect. The pitch then slides out to the south, under the south podium, to reveal the NFL pitch, which is set at a lower level, has its own dedicated AstroTurf field. All the sight lines work, because obviously the difference between soccer and NFL is that there's about 50 of them that stand on the touch lines. So the first eye height of the spectator needs to be about 1.5 meters above where we would set it for soccer. I think it's an amazing building with some really unique features, which is going to set a new benchmark for stadium design around the world.
And it got me thinking, this is what I personally first thought when I saw this video. A team is going to come and play at this stadium, surely. Makes perfect sense that they can drag out this pitch and bring up this NFL pitch. You could have games there every other week quite happily, because there's not a massive amount of, returfing the pitch and things like that. But obviously this new news about the Jacksonville Jaguars only putting a bid in for Wembley makes me doubt my theory that Tottenham Hotspur were going to host an NFL team. They have a contract, like I said, till 2025, hosting 2 games a year. But for me, that doesn't justify building this crazy pitch and perfect stadium sightlines for 2 games a year. But obviously, maybe financially it does benefit Tottenham. But maybe in the future, they may host a team. Who knows? Going back to Jacksonville Jaguars and Wembley, it would make perfect sense that is their home stadium. It holds 90,000 people. It's in the centre of London. It's a perfect stadium for people getting in and out from airports and things like that. It's the national stadium for our football team. So, it can take an American football team easily. The Jacksonville Jaguars are already investing in UK NFL as it is at the grassroots. They have an academy they hold. They go around different schools teaching kids how to play the NFL. So they're teaching kids at a low level, at a low age, to understand American football and to enjoy the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it makes sense that they're breeding up this age group, basically, who are going to be following the NFL. So if they then do move a team here, they have a foundation of fans and teams who are going to grow with that team. They have a UK Twitter account, which is the only official one, which is the only football team who has that. Has like 17,000 followers. So they're already thinking about it. the owner having a football team who already is based in London, it means he's here a lot. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of things are connecting, okay? So a lot of the rumours are that a team would potentially be based on the east coast of America, and then they'd fly over during the week or a couple of days before to adjust to the time and things like that, to then play a home game if they were to move to London. People aren't saying if a franchise moved to London, they would necessarily be based in London, training in London, and things like that. Obviously, they would have a massive presence in London, but a lot of people still say they would be based on the east coast of America, because an 8-hour flight over from say somewhere like New York to London is no different from New York to LA. So these guys are used to flying to games. They'll just be flying to London. What it does mean, though, is if you're coming from somewhere like LA to London, that's a long flight for teams to be taking. So for me personally, I can see an announcement in the next 1 or 2 years where the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, if he purchases Wembley Stadium, is going to go to the league owners meeting and say, I want to relocate my franchise to London. So it's not uncommon for a NFL franchise to move locations. So recently we've had the Chargers move from San Diego to LA. The Rams have moved into LA as well. The Oakland Raiders are planning on moving down to Las Vegas in the next few years. And the team I support, the Baltimore Ravens, used to be the Baltimore Colts before the Colts moved to Indianapolis. So, if you're learning about the NFL and you're watching this video, it does happen that teams relocate. So obviously Jacksonville Jaguars are in Florida at the moment, and it'll be a case of them moving to London, and then Florida don't have a team until someone potentially moves into Florida. So what would it mean for an NFL team to move to the UK? So I think personally it'd be taken really well by NFL fans. Obviously, the exposure, the coverage is all going to grow if it's in the UK. For me, again, though, people who don't like the NFL or don't necessarily understand the NFL criticize it here. They say, oh, it's a bunch of men wearing pads, they're soft and they can't take a proper hit. They don't really understand the sport, so they just have this go-to response about the NFL. But I do feel like those people might start to watch more games on the TV if it's covered, but maybe by the BBC or Sky. So it will grow here if you have a team here. It's inevitable. I'm not sure how the NFL would take it and how other teams would take it. So, for example, the Ravens came to London last year and played the Jaguars, and the Jaguars absolutely destroyed the Ravens. And John Harbaugh, the Ravens coach, went back and said, we won't be coming back soon. But obviously, if as a team permanently based in London, you don't have a choice. You'll have to go back. So for teams who are in the AFC South, along with the Jaguars, they're not going to have a choice whether they have to come here or not. They will. They have to play them once a season, every season, because they're in their division. So teams might not take it very well, and it always goes down to a vote. So some teams may vote no, some teams might vote yes. So, for example, when the Raiders went to a vote to go to Las Vegas, I've got a feeling it was a unanimous vote that it's okay for them to move. But when it comes to London, it will be a different thing. The NFL are keen for it, but whether the owners are of the other teams, we don't know. So that could be a sticking point. For me, I'd love to see it happen, and I think it is inevitable. The NFL have always set out that by 2021, they want to try and have a franchise in the UK. They are now doing as many London games as possible to see that the competitiveness of the teams that could come out here, the logistics of flying in, the traffic, and all these different things. They're working out by doing all these London games. So it does make sense that they're planning to make it happen. So if this Wembley Stadium bid goes ahead, which I think it probably will, it'll be a lot of money for grassroots football in the UK. And I think the FA need the money because Wembley costs nearly £800 million to make. So making £200 million on it and paying off their debts is something the FA would be interested in. I think it will potentially happen with him. And I think that this will be the closest we are going to get to having confirmation that the Jaguars potentially are going to be moving to the UK in the foreseeable future. But we're just going to have to watch this space. And obviously, as soon as we get some news or whatever, I'll do a video about it. But I think it'd be great for the NFL in the UK. And hey, hopefully more people watch how an offense works on my videos. But, I appreciate you watching this video. And if you enjoyed it and you think it's got some ground and it could happen, share it with a friend, share it on Facebook or Twitter. Like the video, subscribe to my channel for more content. And I'll catch you soon.